Information these days. And I'm talking about just making definitive statements. This person did this person did that. The Pope got arrested. The Italian Prime Minister has got arrested. Trump has activated the military and has invoked the Insurrection Act. So I'm going to do something in this video. I'm going to start this video, unfortunately, I'm going to start this video with a quote by the right-hand man of Hitler, Hermann Göring. Just because it's true. This guy was a master liar, a master deceiver, a master propagandist, along with Joseph Goebbels. He said, why, of course, the people don't want war. Why would some poor Slav on a farm want to risk his life in a war when the best he can get out of it is to come back to his farm in one piece? Naturally, the common people don't want war, neither in Russia, nor in England, nor in America, nor for that matter in Germany. That is understood. But after all, it is the leaders of the country who determine the policy, and it's always a simple matter to drag the people along, whether it's a democracy, which we know democracies are nonsense, two wolves in a lamb deciding what to have for dinner. It's mob rule. It's the 51% ruling over the 49%. Utterly immoral, or a fascist dictatorship, or a parliament, or a communist dictatorship. Voice or no voice, the people can always be brought to the bidding of the leaders. And isn't that what it's really all about? Somebody once said, how fortunate for the leaders that men do not think, they just follow. They suspend their critical thinking, they stop asking questions, and they just follow. And then they teach their children to follow. And then they do crazy things like put them in a government indoctrination camp, and the government indoctrination program called public schools, and then we wonder why 20, 25, 30 years later, the family has completely dissolved. Voice or no voice, the people can always be brought to the bidding of their leaders. That's easy. All you have to do is tell them, lie to them, that they're being attacked, and denounce the pacifists, the people who are against the war, for lack of patriotism and exposing the country to danger. You are against war, you're exposing the country to danger. We got to do something. We got to get up in arms. Which completely plays into the whims and the desires of the leaders who fabricated the lie in the first place, who got out the propaganda in the first place. It's the Hegelian dialectic. When will we frickin' learn? Problem, reaction, solution. They create or co-opt a problem, wait for the fear-based reaction, and step in and provide the pre-planned solution. It's like I almost say this in every other video. He says it works the same in any country. And indeed it does. Indeed it does work the same in any country. So I want to talk about, things that we don't know. Things that we don't know. Could they be true? Absolutely. Is there evidence that they are true? I haven't seen it. Nobody who's making the claim that President Donald Trump has invoked the Insurrection Act, or that the Pope has been arrested, or the Italian president has been arrested, and more arrests are coming. And me and Trish were shopping in the grocery store last night, and we met a guy who goes, hey, I don't know what side you're on, but Nancy Pelosi just got arrested at the border. Oh, really? I didn't say anything to him. I didn't, because I wanted to hear out what people had to say. But we gotta talk about this stuff. It's serious to make an assertion, because, like it or not, a lie will make its way halfway around the world before the truth has time to get its shirt, pants, and shoes on. That's just the way it is. Why? Because people are more apt to believe and entertain and spread the lie than they are the truth. For some reason, a lie just gets internalized by more people, and it becomes way, way more popular. And that first casualty in any war will be the truth. So I want to talk about this guy. I don't know who this guy is. Today's the first time I've ever seen or heard about him. His name is Simon Parks. I don't have anything personal against this guy. If he ends up watching this video, Simon, I love you. Let's talk. But I have a couple questions. He's going to tell you right here that Trump did sign the Insurrection Act. And you know what's sad about what's living in our world today? What's sad about living in our world today is if you just ask the question, can you provide documentation for that? What's the proof for that? You make yourself an enemy for the person in the eyes of the person who made the assertion. That's sad. The person who made the assertion should already have the evidence, first of all, and if he doesn't have it, then he should come to a moment of conscience and go, I don't really have evidence. And then you can just say, well, am I supposed to how do I just take your word for it? Like, because this sounds This sounds compelling. I mean, if he really did sign the Insurrection Act, that's a pretty big deal. If the Pope really did get arrested, that's a pretty big deal. If the Italian Prime Minister really did get arrested and he's sitting in a jail cell somewhere, for child trafficking or whatever it was, that's a pretty big deal. That's information that I think people should hear. But where's the proof? I can't spread it unless you have I have the proof. You shouldn't just take my word for it. We shouldn't just take Simon Park's word for it. People should appreciate that, but for the most part, they don't. Look how popular some of these statements that he's saying in this, and I'm talking about this is going mega viral. He just released this video today. I was talking to Trish about this, and I refreshed it. It went from 662,000 to 863,000 views in, I think it was like 10 or 20 minutes. I can't remember the time frame, but let me refresh it again. Look at this. Right now, it's sitting at 863,414. Refresh. Look at this, 981,000. It's knocking on the door of 1 million views and was just uploaded a couple of hours ago today. Well, one of the tenets is Trump will do a second term. They're saying he will. They are saying this. And that he's saying Trump signed the Insurrection Act. Okay, could this be true? Absolutely, it could be true, and we just don't know about it yet. I mean, don't try to Google it. That's a mistake. Don't try to look for it in mainstream media. Even if they knew it, they probably wouldn't. They wouldn't report on it, or it's likely that they won't report on it. But all these people say, and I'm talking about you too, Simon Parks, is this is a fact. Well, where's the proof? Where's the proof of the fact? Because see, if this ends up not being true, that takes his credibility down a notch or two. And if you spread what Simon Parks said, and it turns out not to be true, then you diminish your credibility. And really, this is all about credibility, truth, integrity, abandoning lies, and telling people what's true with evidence. And like I said at the beginning of this video right here, it's very hard to do that these days, because even if you had a Donald Trump figure in front of a video screen signing something, somebody could go deep fake. It's like we're living in an alternate reality. Here's another thing I want to show you. This guy called Will Paranormal on BitChute. And I am glad there are other voices out there, even though I disagree with them. I'm glad other voices are out there, even though they don't provide documentation and evidence and proof. I would never want Simon Parks to be separated from his audience and excluded and banned and censored. I would never want that. You know why? Because for number one, I think it's wrong, and number two, I wouldn't want that done to me. I would not. This was uploaded yesterday. Got almost 400,000 views in less than 24-hour period. If that happened on YouTube, that's phenomenal. But this happened on BitChute. That is stellar. Look at this. Nuclear explosions possible. Troops surround White House. Power grid to be taken down. Enemy troops surround the White House. Nuclear bombs set to detonate in certain states. Red alert. Post wherever you want to. That's that dangerous freedom for you. But I'm telling you guys, it doesn't do our cause any good to put out stuff without documentation. This next thing he says right here, he alludes to what he believes is going to happen in the future. That General Flynn is going to be the vice president of Donald Trump. But the point of me playing this clip right here is that he actually says that Donald Trump is going to be president for another 4 terms. He says this.
So he go back into the Pentagon to do whatever he needed to do. Now, I can't confirm what I'm going to tell you now, but based on what I'd already told you guys about Flynn being really important, do not be surprised if Lieutenant General Flynn is put forward as the vice president under Trump in the coming administration. So you sort of heard it here first, but I can't absolutely guarantee that. What I can say to you is that I already knew when he was pardoned and the conversations I had that there was a role, and I know some people get a bit cross with me and they say, oh, look at Simon's telling the general what to do. No, I wasn't. I was just aware that Trump had a very big role for Lieutenant General Flynn.
And what mainstream media does every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on their propaganda news cycles. No difference. Hey, just believe me, I'm Jakey the Snake Tapper. Just believe me, I'm CIA asset Anderson Cooper. Just believe me, I'm Rachel Madcow. Just believe me, I'm Sean Hannity. $29 million a year salary. Sean Hannity, the guy makes $74,000 a day, guys. $74,000 a day. Most Americans don't make $74,000 in 2 years. $74,000 a day. Yeah, he's incentivized to tell the truth, isn't he? So all I'm saying, Simon Parks and everybody else, if you're going to make a claim, support it with facts. Support it with facts. Don't just say, hey, Simon Parks says this, and then other people start parroting to the point where, look at this. Now we have 981,092 views. You got an outstanding like to dislike. People are on board with this. 58,000 likes to 724 dislikes. That's crazy. That's crazy like to dislike ratio. Let me refresh it right here live while I'm on the screen. Okay, I bet it's already broken 1 million. Well, I've been talking. Look at that. Now 1,019,000 is these people get on BitChute and they get on YouTube and they get on the social media platforms and you can say whatever you want to, but they exploit that really. Okay, so when those troops are sleeping in your bed and you're sleeping on the floor, they put you outside the house. You gonna be okay with that? Because that has happened in the past, and that's why they put the Third Amendment in the Bill of Rights. I never thought I would see the day. I really didn't. I knew the left versus right paradigm lie was basically cancer for your brain, but I never thought I would see conservatives who champion the cause of the Constitution say, I'm willing to give away 100% of my constitutional rights so that Donald Trump can declare martial law and I can lose 100% of my rights so that he can go after the swamp. If you don't know Donald Trump is the swamp by now, I have no words for you. No words. So let's hit on the second thing. The second thing is we're hearing the rumor that the Pope has been arrested for basically child sex trafficking and a laundry list of other things. And where does that come from? It comes from the conservative beaver. Look at this right here.
Still lots of
It says, Vatican blackout, Pope arrested on 80-count indictment for child trafficking and fraud. And before I read this update right here, I just want to read you what the conservative beaver says. Conservative beaver.
Just better.
Red State Watcher, Conservative Beaver. What's that other one? Gateway Pundit. It might as well be called Trump Media. OANN. Trump Media. Right Side Broadcasting. Trump Media. Talk about locking yourself in an echo chamber. And you know, people will take a snapshot of me and go, that is a leftist libtard. Do you know that, Brian? Over there, Heimpack Flicks is a leftist libtard. Guys, the left is just as out to lunch as the right. And the left versus right paradigm leads you into officials, it says, and place them all under arrest without incident. People near the scene have reported, gunshots and all this kind of stuff. So basically they said that guy in the funny white robe got arrested. Dunn got arrested. And then they do this update right here, because in between the time that they went to print with this article right here, or went to the internet with this article, Pope Francis, or somebody with Pope Francis's account, tweeted something out saying, this is the great meaning of Christmas. God becomes man so that we can become children of God. It says, update. It appears that Pope Francis tweeted out this morning, however, Conservative Beaver has confirmed Pope Francis has a social media team that schedules his post, and this one was pre-planned. This is talking about this right here is getting your butt out of a sling. This is called walking it back. If you click on the tweet, you can see TweetDeck was used to schedule the post. Could this be possible? Yeah, it could be possible. Sure, yeah, it could be possible. Is there any proof for it? Nope. Either way, nope. Am I saying he didn't get arrested? Nope. Am I saying he did? Nope. You know why? Because I don't have any proof either way. Now, one thing. Let me just show you. And it's also a close-up here. There he is, supposedly this morning, giving a blasphemous mass, and the reason it's a blasphemous mass is outside of the the post on Parler by the way, Parler's going to be taken down at 11:59 tonight from it's your character, it's your reputation. You start telling people all this stuff, guess what? Your family members start going, God, man, everything that this guy says, nothing comes true. As a matter of fact, it's the exact opposite. Every time Brian's at Thanksgiving dinner, he's always spewing about Hillary Clinton got arrested. And they're out there in the back drinking blood. And this guy's involved in this. And there's a basement down below there. And I always ask him for evidence. And he never gives it to me. That's me being a fool. That would be me making myself a frickin' fool in the eyes of my family and all mankind. Not a good idea. especially in this battle right now. Guys, we've got stuff going on. They intend on doing this stuff. I can give you real stuff going down. The Great Reset, Klaus Schwab, they intend on doing this stuff. I can give you proof of their intentions because all you have to do is play the video. Just roll it. Roll the tape. Roll.
Those platforms were conservative voices, like mine. We are the Americans who did not have a voice in traditional media. Honestly, do you think the left wants me to have a platform to speak? But I can have a voice. Here, on my own social platforms. I can be heard. That freedom infuriates the left, who used to own complete control over our information. So they hatched a plan to silence me and all of us conservatives. And Facebook is paying them for it. Here is how it works. In 2016, hysterical liberals had to find someone to blame for their humiliating loss to Donald Trump. In their minds, they could not possibly have lost due to their own horrendous candidates or policies or their own failing message, so they attacked the one thing that they did not have total control over: social media companies. They applied extreme pressure to silence or censor fake news, which was just a fancy way of saying news that they don't like. Facebook bent to that pressure and created a fact-checker network with godlike powers over all of us. Here is how Facebook fact-checking works. A website you have never heard of, run by partisan beta leftists, stalk the pages of your favorite conservative personalities. Whenever we say anything they disagree with, these fact-checkers write a vicious partisan hit piece. Then they harass us and our audience by slapping hazardous warning labels on what we have posted. Many times, those labels say missing context or disputed. Yes, thanks Facebook. Every political argument in America is disputed. Every argument is indeed missing some context. But the insanity continues. These hack checkers, as I like to call them, would be just an annoyance, but Facebook gives them the ability to destroy the reach of our content, so we cannot communicate with you. They demonetize our pages so we can't make a living producing content for our audiences. And here is the breathtaking part. Most of these fact checks are pure partisan bile. They are false, fake, unchecked by these partisan hacks. And Facebook is giving them the gun. This is why I am suing the Facebook fact checkers. I'm suing them on behalf of you, your favorite creators and news sites, on behalf of our freedom of speech and thought. So who are these hack checkers? Well, I'm suing a site called Lead Stories. Lead Stories is run by a former CNN employee of 26 years who makes a living cannibalizing and slandering conservative content and creators. His website has published disputed fake news stories, including one that went after my content personally. And so I'm going after him personally. Here's an important question. America. The Communist Party of China has more say over my content than the First Amendment. This is insanity. It's un-American. It's dangerous. And it needs to stop. There is not a more remarkable time in this country for patriots to stand up and fight than right now, when we are being turned into a Marxist, communist, socialist country right in front of our faces.
The average person is being censored. The idea of Facebook was, hey, let's bring everybody together and they can talk and share ideas. Well, they don't like the ideas. And so now they're just shutting anybody down that they don't like. This has to stop. What do people do that don't have access to attorneys like that?
Well, you know what? It's actually a very good question. I'm glad that you brought it up, because here's what's actually scary. After we filed our lawsuit, Facebook then decided to change their terms of service effective on December 20th, which makes it impossible. A part of saying that you're going to use Facebook or you're going to use Instagram, you have to go into a contract with them, which stipulates now that you will not join a class action lawsuit. And they did this, no doubt, because I launched my against them. We have never, ever seen this much censorship ever. in America. It is incredible. The President of the United States is being censored every time he tweets. People are being censored by talking about their real experiences. I knew that this was going to happen when I saw the power that fact checkers have. These are human beings, these are activists, these are liberals that are behind the scenes censoring the way that we communicate to one another if it goes against a type of thought that they endorse themselves. I mean, what we are seeing is stuff that we would imagine living under the USSR, that we would imagine living under Hugo Chavez in Venezuela. We would never imagine this in America. For those of you that don't know the backstory, quick backstory here is that I got censored by Facebook fact checkers, a random website that no one's ever heard of, which was given the permission to censor my Facebook page. Turned out the guy who runs the Facebook fact checkers is a man named Alan Duke, a former CNN editor of 26 years. Suddenly left CNN to start a fact-checking firm, and within 2 years, Facebook decided to take him on and make him a fact-checker. Seems a little shady. USA Today, also their fact-checkers. Every time I get fact-checked, I look up these people to see how they lean. They're all extremely left-leaning. So we know what has happened is that Democrats and leftists have put their little Marxists into these positions of power to fact-check and censor opinions. I know you're probably watching this, Zuckerberg. You can fact-check this. FactCheckZuck.com, Candace Owens versus Mark Zuckerberg's little fleet of weak fact checkers. If I had my money on it, my money's on me. This is why I am fighting. Our freedoms are at stake.